Okay, so back to it. So you've just spent an hour talking about the calendar and understanding how you would navigate the calendar, choosing your courses based on the programs in which you are interested and programs that you would find in the calendar, how to fulfill your degree requirements, elective courses, and things like that. In this session, we'll talk a little bit more in detail about how you're actually going to select those courses and build your schedule. All right. Okay, so there are a few steps to registration. So you select your courses starting with the calendar. You will pull out the calendar, you look at the calendar, pull out the program in which you're interested in applying to, seeing if there are any first year required courses for those programs, and making sure that you select those so that at the end of your first year, once you've earned at least 4 credits, you can be eligible to apply to that program. Your course enrollment date is July 25th. You will have a specific time on July 25th, which you will first gain access to Acorn to enroll in your courses. That's called your start time. You can find out your start time starting on July 19th on Acorn. So between July 19th and the 25th, at some point, log in, find out your start time, and be ready to go on July 25th. Are there any transfer students here? No. Okay. And then the final step to registration is making sure you pay your fees. So the fee payment is due by August 28th. Your invoice will be posted by mid-July, even before you enroll in courses, because everybody who's enrolled in at least 4 credits or more, and the expectation is that you will likely enroll in at least 4 credits, is charged a flat fee. They call it a program fee. If you end up taking 3.5 or fewer credits, then you can request to be charged on a per course fee basis. But for everybody who's enrolled in at least 4 credits, 4 to 6, 6 is the maximum number of credits you can take. But I don't recommend it. It's a lot of work. It's considered 120% enrolled, and certainly not for your first year. Anyway, anyone who's enrolled in 4 to 6 courses will be paying the program fee. All right, so here's a sample from the Arts and Science calendar to show you that you can, particularly in the life sciences, you guys are super lucky because there are a number of different programs, most of the programs actually in the life sciences, that require the same core courses in your first year. So you could be interested in neuroscience or physiology or immunology, and each one of those programs requires the same first year courses. And you can even actually double major. So if you double major in physiology and immunology, then those core courses that are common to both of them, you take once, then it gets applied to 2 programs. There is a limit to the number of courses you can share between programs. But in general, particularly in your first year, you don't have to worry about it. So you can see for environment and health and physiology, they both have Bio 120 and Bio 130. The first year biology courses, Chem 135 and Chem 136. And in environment and health, for point number 3, they'll say, take any one of these courses. Remember, courses divided by a slash means or. So any one of these, but the Math 135 is required in both. So you could take that Math 135 and it's fine for both. Okay, here's another example. So I mentioned in my last session that, I lost my screen again, that no program will require more than 3 credits for admission to the program. But some programs may require more than 3 first-year courses in completion of the program. So here's an example with immunology. They require a full year of biology, a full year of chemistry, a full year of calculus, and a full year of physics. But that physics option, they tell you can take in your first or in your upper years. You don't have to take it in your first year. So if you thought, well, I really only have room for biochem and calculus now, because I want to take a first year foundations course at Innis, and I want to take another elective course, and I want to keep my options open for something else. I don't have room to take physics, or, oh my God, a biology, chemistry, and physics lab would just like be too much, right? In my first year, I don't want to do it. Physics is a nightmare. It may not be. I don't know. I've never taken physics, but it would be a very heavy course load, to be honest, taking biology, chemistry, calculus, and physics all in your first year. So you have an option, and you can take the physics 131, 132 in year 2 or above, or in the summer. If you wanted to do that, that's fine as well. Okay. Once you've chosen all of your core courses from the calendar, so again, you use the calendar, select the programs in which you are interested, view any first year requirements that there are, and then in the timetable, once you've made a list of those courses, then you will build your schedule from that. So once you've selected all of your core courses for the programs in which you're interested, and you still have room because you want to take 5 credits in your first year, then what other opportunities do you have? So we have some options. We have ONES programs, which are small content-based programs. Similar to first year foundations courses, they're limited in class size to about 25 students, but they're discipline specific. So they're sponsored by the colleges, and the Monk School as well offers a ONES program. Many of them require prior application, and then the ONES program will choose you whether or not you've gotten in. And some of them, INIS, for example, you just apply, you can enroll in the course on your course enrollment day if you're interested. So the ONES programs are great because they're interesting courses which may or may not be relevant for the program that you're interested in. Cinema studies, urban studies, and writing rhetoric at INIS all have ONES courses. You could take a journalism course, a creative writing course, making movies in Toronto course, or a blogging the Just City for urban studies course, which would be part of the ONES programs, and they're very cool. I'm going to skip over the flick for a minute. First year foundations are similar, that they're small seminar style courses. They're a kinder, gentler introduction to university level courses than some of your other core program courses might be. You can take up to 1 full credit of first year foundations courses. You can enroll in them on July 25th. I'm going to come back to this slide when we go to the next slide for a minute. You've probably heard about this in your last session as well. Out of the 125 or so first year foundations courses that are offered by all of the departments across the faculty, there are 14 that are designated just specifically to INIS students. This is a pilot because INIS would really like to encourage students in their first year to take one of these small seminar style courses. It really is just it's a nice way to start to get accustomed to interacting with a professor, doing group work and assignments at the university level. It's a less intensive course. Anyway, the first year foundations courses, the 14, there's a website which is here. Pardon me. And I'll send you links about this as well in upcoming emails. They're taught not by INIS professors necessarily. They're taught by professors from across the faculty, but they're designated to INIS College students, and INIS College students have priority access to enrolling in these courses the whole first week of course enrollment from July 25th to August 2nd. Only INIS College students can enroll in these courses. Or other first year foundations. Again, every department offers first year foundations. Their course codes are designated with 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, or 199. That's how you know it's a first year foundations course, and that it'll say restricted just to first year students. And then the FLIC. So the FLIC is near and dear and special to my heart, is the first year learning communities. It's not a course. You don't earn any credit for it. The FLIC is a program that was designed to help give students who are studying the same sorts of topics a instant small community. So the FLIC groups students together by whatever their discipline interest is, and by college. So at INIS, we have a commerce FLIC and we have a life sciences FLIC, and you guys are all life science students. The FLIC will pre-enroll you into the same sections of biology, chemistry, and calculus. And then also you'll have a FLIC designated time every other Thursday from 2 to 3:30, you would meet with the other students in the FLIC group who you will be seeing in the same sections of your biochemistry and calculus courses, with an upper year student peer mentor, a assistant peer mentor, and a faculty advisor who is the first year chemistry, organic chemistry professor, and a staff advisor who's me. This is why this program is near and dear to my heart. So I've been involved with the FLIC program for almost my entire time here at Innis College, and it's great. The FLIC requires an application, separate application. I believe the Faculty of Arts and Science recently sent you guys emails about FLIC, so keep an eye out. I know you get a lot of emails. Keep an eye out for that. You can just Google Learning Communities at U of T or FLIC, FLC at U of T. The application is due by July 12th. We also limit the number of students that we have to about 25 students. So if we have more applicants than spaces, then we'll decide probably by date applied order who we will take. Okay, so any questions about electives, special opportunities, first year foundations? No, awesome. Oh, at the lunch today, we'll have a representative from the First Year Foundations program at Innis, and also Charlie Kyle, the principal at Innis. This program is his pilot, and so he'll be talking to students and parents about it as well. Okay, other elective courses. So if you don't like any of the First Year Foundations, the FLIC is not for you. You're not interested in the ones, that's okay. Other elective courses to help fulfill your breadth requirement are core program requirement courses for other students. So let's say you're interested in learning Italian. If you were interested in the Italian major, that would be a required course for you. That's a program course, but for you, it's an elective, and that's great. You can certainly do that. If you're interested in a language in which you already have prior knowledge, let's say French or Spanish or German or Mandarin, the French or Spanish have online placement tests in which you will need to take before you enroll in your courses. So you just go to the French department listing in the calendar, and there's a link to the online placement test. Don't study for the test. You want it to be a true assessment of your facility with the language, and then the French department will let you know what level you should place yourself into. For other courses, East Asian languages, so Korean, Japanese, and Mandarin, I believe there's an interview that you need to attend, and so you would go to the East Asian Studies website to find out any details about that, right? Because if you already have some facility with the language, you want to continue it, that's great, but it wouldn't be fair for you to take the first 100 level course with the introductory level course for that language. Okay. So when choosing courses, try and stick to the 100 courses that have the 100 level. There are some 200 level courses that don't have any prerequisites, and they may say introduction in the title. And if that's the case, then go for it. Take it in your first year. Why not? Don't take too many, because the expectation is that you'll be in classes with students who have some university experience already. But if there's no prerequisite, and if it says introduction in the title, then by all means, you can certainly do it. Okay. So I'm a lifetime student. I've gone through my program listings of which I'm interested in, programs in which I'm interested. I've listed out first year, full year of biology, first year, full year of chemistry, calculus, and psychology as potential courses for potential programs that I'm interested in. And then some elective courses. So I have room for electives. So Italian, I'd like to learn Italian. And then this cryptology course, which is one of the first year foundations courses at Innis. These are my electives. They've listed them out because does anyone want me to go through the calendar? Did anyone go into the calendar or not go into the calendar in their last session? Okay, so let me quickly show you where in the calendar. That's not what I want. Either. Okay, so here's the academic calendar. Go under program areas. And let's say, go to nutritional sciences. Okay, so nutritional sciences. In your first year, you need to take the full year of bio, the full year of chemistry. they've hyperlinked the wrong ones. Chemistry 138 and 139 don't exist anymore. They've been renamed to Chemistry 135 and 136, which is physical and organic chemistry. Or you could take Chemistry 151. There will be actually Andy Dix, who's the Flick Innis Life Science faculty advisor, will be here at the lunch today as well. And he's the undergraduate chair from the chemistry department. And you can ask him, hey, I'm interested in chemistry. I like it. Should I take Chem 135 and Chem 136 or Chem 151? And what he'll likely tell you is that Chemistry 151 really would be reserved for students who are interested in pursuing a program in chemistry. It's an intensive course in chemistry, which encompasses both physical, organic, and inorganic chemistry. If you're taking it because it's a requirement for your life science program, stick to the 135 and 136. So you need a minimum combined average of at least 70% with a mark of not less than 60% in each one of those individual courses, right? So this is how you're in the calendar, how you're choosing your courses. So you know for sure, bio and chemistry. Well, I lost my screen again. I don't know. I must be doing something wrong. Okay. Let's go back to... Okay, so let's go into the timetable. Okay, in the Faculty of Arts and Science current students website, you will find a link to the timetables. You want, obviously, the fall, winter 2019-2020 calendar, timetable, rather. Okay, so this is what the timetable looks like. You want to start just typing in the course code for the course in which you are interested in. Bio 120, here we are. Okay, so Bio 120, H1F half credit course. The F means that the course is taught in the fall or first semester. There are, it appears, 3 lecture sections from which you can choose. There are enrollment controls on this course. So only science-related students in year 1 can apply for this course on your course enrollment day on July 25th. Anyone who's outside of the science field will have to wait until the priority period is lifted. There are some enrollment controls that we have a slide coming up about enrollment controls, but this restricted one, restrictions never go away. So there are 11 spaces reserved for students in the Faculty of Kinesiology. So you can't enroll in lecture section L2002. So it's either L0 or lecture section 0101 or 5101. The content is the same for both the daytime and the evening. It's just taught at different times. So lecture section 0101 meets Mondays from 10 to 11 and Wednesdays from 10 to 11. The class is huge. It has space for, this many students. I'm seeing some looks on your faces. Yeah, literally like 1,400 people will be in the class with you. Or you can go for the smaller one, still 400 people, which is Wednesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. You're going to have to learn how to read a 24-hour clock. So, why does it stick? Okay. They also have practical sections, labs. So labs in Biology 120, Biology 130, Chemistry 135, and Chemistry 136 meet on alternating weeks. So I think I have a slide about this. Okay, so note about alternating labs. For Bio 120, which is offered only in the fall, and Bio 130, which is offered only in the winter semester, and Chemistry 135 and Chem 136, which can be taken in either order, just not in the same semester. The labs meet on alternating weeks. So what you can do is choose labs that meet at the same time on the same day. You have to make sure that one meets on one week and the other one meets on the next week so that you alternate bio and chemistry. And how do you do that? So looking at the lab sections that end in the number 1 meet the first week, so starting September 16th and every other week after that. And lab sections that end with the number 2 meet on the week of September 23rd, and every other week after that for the fall. So if you choose a lab section for biology that ends in the number 1, and you want to make sure, doesn't even have to be in the same day, same time, you just want lab just once a week. Biology, choose one that ends with the number 1, and then chemistry, choose a lab that ends in the number 2. Okay? All right. So let's choose this one, and then I don't know, choose this one. You don't have to choose 0101 for the lab just because you chose 0101 for the lecture. Unless specifically noted, you can choose whatever you like. There are some courses that say, if you're choosing this lecture section, you can choose from among these listings of tutorials. But in this case, you can choose any one. And then you can view your timetable plan. And okay, so now I know from September to December, every Monday and Wednesday from 10 to 11, I'm in biology. I can't choose any other courses that meet at these times because I can't be in 2 places at once. I'm not Hermione Granger. Okay? All right. So let's do another one. So Chem 135. Okay, Chem 135 H1F has lectures, labs, and tutorials, and you need to choose one from each group. Chem 135 H1S is the same, lectures, lab, and tutorials. You only take the course once, either in the first semester or in the second semester. You can take them in either order, it doesn't matter. You just can't take them both in the same semester. To add a little bit of confusion, Math 135 and Math 136 must be taken in numerical order. So Math 135 is a prerequisite to Math 136. Again, it gives priority to students in computer science, general science, or social sciences. Course information prerequisite is grade 12 high school level calculus. Exclusion means that if you've taken any one of these courses, you can't take this course. And you'll see if you go to Math 136, the prerequisite is Math 135. So if you don't pass Math 135, you cannot take Math 136. Okay? You can't take Math 136 in the first semester if you haven't previously taken Math 135. All right, so I do this with all of my courses, and I make a plan. And this is what my plan looks like, right? So here are the courses. Here are the sections that I've chosen. The ones that end in the red F are fall term courses. The green S are the winter term courses. The Y, the Italian studies course, is a full year long. I've balanced out my schedule, so I have 5 courses in my first semester, 5 courses in my second semester. And if you look at it, it doesn't look too bad, right? I have some days where I have a lighter course load, right? So not that many class time hours. Here's some advice. Use all your free space wisely. The expectation is that for every 1 hour of class time, you will spend 2 hours studying. So all of this free space here really should be used to study. And so it's funny, I made this schedule, and I had originally put Math 135 like in the evening section. And then I came back the next day and I was looking at it and I'm like, if I was a student, would I like that? No, I don't think I'd like so many evening courses. So then I redid this slide and course schedule, and I picked something that happened in the day. And the reason I liked this one is because every day I had to get up at the same time. Every day I had to be at school by 10 o'clock. So it became a routine. And then you would be wise to figure out a routine for the rest of your day, because your schedules are not going to be the same as they were in all of your previous schooling, right? From 8:55 when the bell rings to 3:30 when the other bell rings, you are scheduled. Here, it's not like that at all. On Tuesdays, right, you've got lab, you just have a lab. If there's no lab that week, right, these are alternating weeks, but maybe, there's only 3 or 4 labs for the course in a semester. So maybe there's some weeks where you have nothing other than math at 10. You've got the whole day free. It's not free. You really need to use your time wisely. The successful student will treat university like it's your job. And if you get all your work done from 9 to 5, you have, or whatever time you have scheduled, you have the rest of the time to play. If you want to go to the gym during the day, great. Block off that same amount of time somewhere else in your day to study. Study harder for your first exams than you've ever studied for anything ever in your life. And this is not to scare you, this is to prepare you. These courses will be tough. Okay, the tutorials are not optional. It's not like if you need extra help, you go for tutoring. The tutorials are if it's as a section that you need to enroll in, it's a required part of the course. It's built into the overall structure of the course. There's a separate mark that you get for your tutorial that is incorporated into your final mark for the course. Think about things that are important to you. Notice I didn't choose any 9 o'clock classes. I don't want to come to, I can barely make it to work by 9. So think about things that are relevant to your life. If you're going to be commuting, you probably don't want 9 o'clock either because the subway stinks at 8:30, right, to get here. So if you live a long distance away, think about maybe how many evening courses you might take, because if you have to take the GO train home and then still have to travel a half an hour before you get to your house, you're going to be starving and exhausted and you still have homework to do. How are you going to manage that? So to the best of your ability, because most courses have at least 2 sections from which you can choose, to the best of your ability, think about things that are important to you. Here's a fun fact. I don't even know if you guys know what a soap opera is, but when I was an undergrad, soap operas were a thing, and very few people had VCRs, which don't even exist anymore, maybe. I scheduled all 5 years of my undergrad so that I had no classes between 1 to 2, because it was very important that I found out what happened on all my children every day. And so my friends and I, we would make sure that Monday to Friday, 1 to 2, we were free. And I managed that for 4.5 of my 5 years, which is kind of embarrassing, but it's true. Okay, here's what the winter term looks like. Again, I only have labs on Tuesday. They're scheduled at the same time. The timetable and Acorn rather are not sophisticated enough to not recognize it as a conflict. That's why it's showing up in red, because it's saying, warning, you've scheduled 2 courses at the same time. Acorn will not prevent you from putting yourself into a conflict, but it will warn you. But here, I've ensured that one of my practical sections ends in the number 1, and the other one ends up, the other one has the number 2 at the end of it. All right. So enrollment controls, we talked a little bit about enrollment controls. There's 6 different enrollment controls. These are ones of the 4 that you will run into most often as a first-year student. Priority. Priority means that the course is designated to give priority access to the students who need them. So generally, it's program-related courses, not typically elective courses. Priorities are from your course enrollment date up until July 31st. August 1st is no course enrollment at all. August 2nd is the first time that students will get access to courses that previously gave priority to other groups. And it's done so that 4th-year students get get access at 9 a.m., 3rd-year students at 10, 2nd-year students at 11, and August 2nd at noon, 1st-year students get access. Restrictions don't go away. So restrictions number, so R1 courses restricted to certain groups at all times. So Rotman Commerce restricts all of their Rotman Commerce courses to Rotman Commerce students at all times. And that never gets lifted. R2 is a restriction for a certain amount of time to a specific group of students, and then otherwise restricted, so an R2 will change to an R1, for example. So an R2, the first-year foundations at Innis, for example, are a good example. Restricted only to Innis College students for that first week, and then it shifts to become an R1, which means that it's restricted then to only any first-year students. So second-year students will never get access to these first-year foundations courses. And then E courses enroll at the department. So if anyone's interested, let's say, in taking a music course where you need to audition for it, like to be part of an ensemble, you audition and then you are enrolled by the department. There are a couple of other E-related courses, like ones. Oops. So one's programs where you need to apply to them, the department will enroll you. And then some, like this MGY 299, for example, is a research course. You need to apply and be admitted, and then the department will enroll you. Okay, all course enrollment happens on Acorn. Become familiar with Acorn now. So I think this weekend, the 2019-2020 calendar is being loaded onto Acorn. So starting on Monday, you can start looking around and choosing some of your courses and putting them into what's called your enrollment cart. It's kind of like online shopping, right? Where you select the course, you put it in your cart, and you can go back to it later to review. And on your course enrollment date, go to your cart and enroll in all of those sections of all of those courses at that time. Check Acorn on July 19th or sometime between July 19th and July 25th to find out your enrollment start time. So the enrollment start time for first-year students is generally assigned by admission category. So it's random assignment by admission category. So typically, humanities and social science students get the first start time. So they get between 9 and noon or so. And then math and physical science students, commerce students, computer science students, and then life science students are almost always at the end. So that won't matter for you for any of your core courses because they have priority in bio, in chem, and calculus. You'll have priority access to enrolling in those. But for your elective courses, humanities and social science students will get the first crack at it. So don't be surprised if some of the courses that you've put in your enrollment cart are full by the time you get a chance to enroll. So I have a couple of backup options. Acorn is pretty clever because it will tell you, if you type in a course code, it will tell you like in real time whether the course will conflict with the other courses that you've enrolled in. And all of the courses will tell you in real time what the capacity is and how many students have enrolled. You do have an option. I must have a slide here about waitlists. You do have an option for most courses to add yourself to a waitlist if it's offered, if the course is full. It's a good idea to add yourself to a waitlist if their waitlist number is within 10% of the total class size, 10 to 15%. Beyond that, it's risky. So that's part of the reason why there are these priority enrollment controls so that students who need the courses can have access to them. But for everybody else, if your waitlist number is pretty high, then I would advise you to look into other courses. Okay. Courses for which you do not meet the priority enrollment control, like let's say as an elective course, you're interested in taking a computer science course, you won't have the priority to do that. You won't even be able to add it to your enrollment cart. You'll have to wait until the priority period is over. When you're planning schedule, I mean, this is just a tip, but it doesn't really matter. But when you're planning out your schedule in advance, slot in the lectures first because there's usually fewer options for the lectures, and then go back and do the labs and tutorials because there's generally many more sections of those. On July 25th, on your course enrollment day, you'll have access to enrolling into a maximum of 5 credits. On August 2nd, when the priority period is over, you can go back and add a 6th credit. Now, I mentioned earlier, don't take 6 courses because that's way too many. However, let's say you're deciding between 2 electives and you think, well, if I don't add it to my schedule now, it could be full if I decide that I want to take it. So that's fine. Enroll in it, go to the first lecture for both of those courses, and then decide, and then you can drop it. Your course enrollment for F and Y courses, you have until September 18th to enroll in courses when classes start on September 5th. So you have 2 weeks really to try and see what you think. Maybe you will like the professor, maybe you will like the content, maybe you look at the syllabus and you think, wow, way too much work, I'm not interested. And that's fine. Just make sure you don't forget to drop the course. Okay. Enroll in your full academic year in July, both in the fall and winter. For the winter term courses, you have until the 2nd week in January to make any changes. But if you wait until the 2nd week in January to enroll in any of those courses in the first place, they will all be full, and you will not have an opportunity to get the courses you need. Okay, so that's course enrollment. Course enrollment is one part of registration. The second part of registration is payment. Your fees will be posted to Acorn by mid-July, and your minimum payment is 50% of your total academic fees, and that's due by August 28th. If you will be receiving OSAP, then you need to apply for OSAP and have your assessment. So OSAP confirms that they'll give you X amount of money done before this course enrollment date so that you can, on Acorn, defer your fees. So if you're receiving Acorn OSAP, then the money doesn't come in until after school starts in September. But you have to defer your fees to prove that you're coming or pay your fees by August 28th. So if you're receiving OSAP, you will have access on Acorn to defer your fees, which says basically, I promise to pay. I can't pay now because the money from OSAP it won't come until September. But if you defer your fees, then you've secured your registration, your course enrollment. All right, 28th. Gone too far. Here we go. Don't miss this date. If you miss this date, there is a little bit of a window, but really, if you miss this date, the university will assume that you are not coming. They will remove you from all of the courses that you've enrolled in. And to get yourself back into them, all of the students who are on the wait list will be slotted into all of those available spaces, and you may not get back into the courses or the sections that you so carefully chose, right? So don't miss this date. This is really important. Okay, so no invoice will be sent to you. You will check your fees on Acorn starting in mid-July. Note that if you are an international student, you had to pay an admission deposit when you accepted your offer to U of T. And if you're living in the Innis residence, you had to pay a $600 deposit for the residence. Neither one of those payments will trigger registration. You still have to pay that minimum payment for your tuition. I talked about this, how fees are based on a program fee for students who are enrolled in 4 credits or more. Okay, some tips. So I already mentioned this. Acorn doesn't prevent you from making timetable conflicts. It will warn you, like it'll show up in red, but you can enroll into courses that are offered the same day, same time. Don't do it. Honestly, don't do it. There's no point. Sometimes students do it on purpose for whatever reason, and they decide 1 week I'm going to go to this course and 1 week I'm going to go to that course. It almost never works out. It is always a bad idea. And if a prof is offering an exam or a test, a midterm, at class time, not all tests are offered at class time. Sometimes they're scheduled in the evening or on a separate day. But if a prof is offering or giving a test or quiz or a midterm in class time, you will get no special dispensation because you're enrolled in another course at the same time. Nobody will give you a makeup test for that. On Acorn now, no building, nor in the timetable will you see building and room numbers yet. That will come up in August. Hopefully by the time course enrollment, it'll show up on in the timetable or on Acorn, but probably not. You'll find out after. All daytime classes start 10 minutes after the hour. So if you have back-to-back classes, if you have a class from 10 to 11 and another one from 11 to 12 on the same day, that's fine. Classes will end on the hour and the next one starts 10 minutes after the hour. So you have until 11:10 to get there. And for most places on campus, 10 minutes is enough to get there. But after you've enrolled in your courses, if you're able to, come to campus and do a trial walkthrough so that you can time yourself or figure out a good route or get a bike or rollerblades or whatever it is, a scooter, to make sure that you get to your class on time. Acorn doesn't check for prerequisites or co-requisites. So you can put yourself into a 300 level course that you are not actually able to take. The departments will check though, and the departments will check at some point when they get around to it. And it could be at some point several weeks into the semester, and you will be removed from the course. And at that point, you won't be able to add yourself into anything. So don't take anything that you're not quite ready to take yet. Acorn is shut down for course enrollment on August 1st, 6th, and 8th. I don't know if this is written down anywhere in any of the calendar or timetable information that you have, but if you enroll in your courses and then want to go back in and it's August 1st and you can't enroll in anything, you can drop courses. You can't add anything though. We always get students calling, freaking out. I've dropped all my courses, but I can't add anything. You have to wait until it's not August 1st, 6th, or 8th. Okay, so there's a lot of resources and help that is out there for you. there is Ask a Student, which is a really cool blog. It's hosted by Innis College, but it's university-wide. Ask a Student is a kind of fun and snarky site that is written by, so people write in, it's like a, like a Dear Abby kind of a thing where students write in, people write in questions and a student actually responds. Be prepared for a little snark. There are librarians, discipline-specific librarians. You will have a paper that you will have to write for your bio course. And there are discipline-specific life science librarians who can help you with that. The Innis College librarian, her name is Kate. She's super enthusiastic about libraries, truly. If you can imagine, there's someone super, super enthusiastic. It makes you like really want to go to the library. She can help you with doing some of your research or figuring out how to get to navigate the expanse of libraries that we have here. Okay, all professors offer office hours. So once a week for at least an hour, every week, a professor will be sitting in his office or in a location that's predetermined for office hours. Go to them. They often are sitting by themselves and without anyone to talk to. Students don't make use of this. Go to the office hours. The successful student goes to the office hours, truly. Ask questions. They might be able to give you some idea about some things to focus your studying on for the upcoming test. They can help go over concepts that they explained in their lecture. You can, ask for extra help. Go to the office hours. There are techniques for writing multiple choice exams. There are people who can help you with those techniques. They're learning strategists from the Academic Success Center. And Innis College has a learning strategist who meets only with Innis College students in the Innis College building like twice a week for 2 days. You can book an appointment through the registrar's office with a learning strategist, and you can get tips on time management, how to plan out your essay, how to get some tips for taking multiple choice or essay exams. The learning strategists are great, and it's an hour-long appointment, and they work one-on-one with you. Employment opportunities on campus. There are work study positions that are posted through the Career Center, the Career Learning Network, where you can work, I think the maximum number of hours is 12 hours a week, but I think it's like $15 an hour, and is only through, I think you would work only from mid-September or late September to March, so that you have like early March, so you have March and April to study for exams. Work study is a great way to gain some experience and earn some money. There are emergency bursaries available if you're in a financial bind, and you'll learn about this in the Money Matters session at 2:00. And there are other online resources. Starter Kit, which you'll get an email from me about, including that link. Starter Kit is it's a Innis College program. It's like what I wish I had known from a student's perspective. In fact, Chow, who was doing the live streaming, making sure that was working, his project is keeping up with Starter Kit. So lots of great information, advice, tips from students to students. And Fast Forward is a site also, I guess, also managed by Innis College, where students who have graduated from U of T, not just from Innis, but from across the Faculty of Arts and Science, who graduated with whatever program, right back into and are in this Fast Forward database to say what further learning they went on to do, what undergraduate experiences they had, what programs they did, what further learning they went on to do, and what jobs they got. So if you're thinking, okay, so let me see a student with, or previous student with a neuroscience and a cinema studies double major, what did they go on to do? It's possible that there is somebody in this Fast Forward database. So it's a cool tool to use. Okay. So we're going to the lunch now. The lunch is in the Innis College residence, which is on this side of the street across from the Innis College building. In the events room, in the residence, are about 15 or so, and you'll see on the back side of your purple agenda, representatives from different departments. These are department chairs or faculty who are here just for this event. Make use of them. Ask them questions like, should I pursue a major or a specialist in your area, field of study? If I'm what can I do to be successful to prepare for taking your course? What can I do, like maybe over the summer, to prepare for that? If you're considering the difference between Chem 135 and Chem 136 versus Chem 151, ask the chemistry professor. The math department offers 4 different levels of 100 level introductory level calculus courses. Which one do you take? Math 133, Math 135 and 136, Math 137 or 157. They're all different. And if you're taking calculus just to get through your life sciences program, Math 135 and Math 136 is the way to go. But if you're really interested in calculus, or you want to do a math program in addition to your life science program, Math 137 or Math 157 would be the right course. These are more intense versions of first year calculus. So ask the profs that are there. They're coming here just for this event. So they're happy to answer your questions. Okay. Speaking of questions, who has one? Okay, so yes, go ahead. The Flick timetable, yes, very good. If you go to the Flick website, you can look at Life Sciences INIS, and it'll show you which sections they will enroll you in, so that you can plot all your other courses around that. Very good question. Yeah, it's available on the Flick website. Yeah, good question. Yes. The arts and science timetable, the one that we were just looking at, yes, it's 1920 in Acorn. I think it's being updated this weekend. So starting on Monday, you'll be able to see in Acorn the 2019-2020 timetable. Well, so Flick in the Flick website, you'll see the 1920 calendar section. Yes. Yes. So the Academic Success Center, actually at the lunch, there are student life programs that are there. You can ask them. The Academic Success Center runs university prep courses in August. And I think there's a handout in your flyer, in your folder about that. Okay, and ask at the lunch the student life programs. Okay. Any other questions? Great. So I'm available at the lunch. I'll stick around here if you have a one-on-one question. If you're coming in with any advanced standing credits, let's say in bio or chemistry, you can choose to still take the 100 level courses if you wanted to. And at the end of your year, you can decide to forfeit your transfer credits or not. We can talk offline about any of those courses. You can email me and we can talk specifically about how you might want to use your advanced standing credits if you have them. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch. Again, you can follow the group around, but it's on this side of the street of St. George, right across from the Innis College building.